各位观众朋友们，大家下午好！欢迎大家回到上汽国际赛车场。我们即将欣赏到的是2019赛季 China GT 中国超级跑车锦标赛的我们第2天的正赛的 GT3 和 GTC 2个组别的比拼。我是方妮。大家可以看到我们的天气啊，今天上午还是阳光明媚，现在又开始下雨了。 也就是说，今天我们的这个赛场又将是一场湿地战。那对于赛车手的这个准备条件来说，应该是非常的苛刻了。那根据前天的排位赛当中呢，在我身旁的92号车组的2位车手李月勋和他的搭档陈君华呢是获得了杆位，所以他们将会从头排发车。在他们身旁的呢是自己的队友，所以稍后呢我们也可以更多的来跟他们聊一聊相关的信息。今天一共有17辆赛车参加 GT3 和 GTC 组别的比拼，究竟鹿死谁手呢？让我们一起共同 Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to the second race here today for the GT3 and GTC category in the China GT Championship right here at Shanghai International Circuit. I'm Sophie Lee, and just behind me, car number 92 took the pole position in the qualifying second. So let's cross finger for all the 17 cars ready for a 1-hour race. 那接下来的时间呢，我们一起来采访一下，在我身旁的就是我们的杆位的其中之一的一位车手陈君华。Kevin, so the question very simple. 今天呢是雨战，但是呢，我们基于今天上午的情况，可能这个天气又会变干。那今天轮胎策略和整个车队策略是怎样 ？What is the strategy for today?
目前基本上还是干胎，不过刚刚 GT4 我们有试着去用干胎，结果中途又下了雨。 那今天的变数可能会很大，蛮危险的，对。
那今天这个，因为我们在上海站能从杆位发车，也发现其实这一站上海站的这个实力，各位车手实力也非常的强劲啊。那自己作为头排发车，也是作为第1棒的选手，是不是很有压力呢 ？Is that a lot of pressure？
基本上今天先发的车手大部分都是 Pro 的车手。 说压力当然是基本上会有一点的，对。
加油加油，在这里为你鼓鼓劲儿，也希望你们的车组92号车组能够取得好的成绩。So Kevin just mentioned about actually they have full preparation for this weather, no matter it's dry or wet. At the same time, because most of the cars, they choose professional drivers as the first session drivers. So it's definitely a lot of challenge for him as well. Good luck for you and cross back to your guys. 接下来时间转回到我们的解说间。
Thank you, Sophie, and welcome back to Shanghai International Circuit for round 6 of the championship. Let's take a look back at yesterday's race and what a great race it was. The weather conditions had an impact. It was a lot of decisions for teams to make down there on the grid. Alessio Picariello, he was one of them. Songbo, unfortunately for him, didn't go a long way. There was a wet circuit that had an impact. Once we got started, Eric Zhang, the Toro Racing Machine, raced away at the front of the field. This was Nick Yellowly's teammate, who was doing such a good job. Lin Yu battling into position. The 2 Radical RXCs were pretty quick in GTC. And what a storming drive from the number 7 entry. Yang Tengyi did a brilliant job for King's Racing. Of course, we've seen a lot of that car over the last couple of seasons. King's Racing in Shuzhou taking that entry to victory in the championship for China GT and GT3 in past years. You can see the Radical RXC of Lo Ji-ho working its way through. Pole-sitting car for today's race, which of course is Kevin Chen and Oscar Lee. They were doing a really sterling job during Ivan Lee, rather. Oscar Lee in the GT4 entry was doing a very good job during the course of the race. That was the movement forward of the Audi R8 LMS GT4. John Martin, the Australian driver with prototype experience, behind the wheel of the entry for GTC. He was pretty quickly onto the race lead. Here is the battle. CJ Guang, 2-time champion in GTC for China GT, that lost position to the Australian. Great battle between the 2 Lamborghini Huracan Citra Feos for the YC Racing team. Good battle up front too, as you saw, between Alessio Picariello and championship points leader Nick Yellowly. Ultimately, the Englishman held out the young Belgian. This was Adam Christodoulou working his way through at the front of the field. Thomas Erb talking to Frank Yu and Daryl O'Young. Thomas Erb, boss of Mercedes AMG in China. Toro Racing Machine did Christodoulou. Ultimately, comfortably across the line, but a lot of that work set up by Eric Zhang. He did a great job. Second across the line for Lin Yu and Nick Yellerly. Third for the winners last weekend in Japan in Blancpain GT World Challenge. That was Jeffrey Lee and Alessio Picariello. Great crowd in. The weather's cleared enough for the crowd to
好
come
的，
out.
我的身旁呢是从第2位发车的90号车组的 Nick Yellerly. So Nick, we know that I can call your guys are as a frequent visitor for podium, but this stop, would you like to describe to us how intense is this game?
Yeah, I mean, all the races are really, really tough. We have some really good pro drivers here in this championship, so that keeps it pretty exciting. And then also to watch, you know, the AMs go at it wheel to wheel as well. It really gets my heart going. So, yeah, for this one, I think it will be a difficult race. We'll have to see how the weather plays out. And yeah, try and, yeah, just get to the front and stay there, really.
They say because you guys are a team, so is there any team strategy like you want to go first or?
No, not really. Just race hard. Obviously, I'll try and get past into the lead early on and then see what we can do. If it's wet, I think we have a better chance to stay at the front. The Mercedes seems pretty fast in the dry conditions. So, yeah, let's see what happens.
Thank you so much, Nick. Nick 跟我们分享了一下，其实今天他们的车队战略呢，就是只要一发车从第2位就猛冲，拿到领先的位置。那同样呢，今天的这个湿地天气呢，可能对于他们的车况来说是非常有利的一个条件。那同样呢，也是在上海这站比赛，我们的观众朋友可以欣赏到的是非常激烈的角逐。再次谢谢 Nick。那接下来的时间呢，就将我们的现场转交回解说间。Now cross back to your guys upstairs.
Well, Nick Yellerly currently leads this championship very, very comfortably. We've done, this is only a provisional point, 94 points. And he is holding the championship points lead over Jeffrey Lee. And as we go on to the Shanghai International Circuit, 5.45 kilometres race distance, Herman Tilke designed F1 circuit. We go down to turn 6, which signifies the full Chinese Formula One Grand Prix venue. 7 and 8, very much a test for the gentleman drivers. 9 and 10, the run down to turn 11. Tight left-hander swings into a very fast double right, 12 and 13, and known affectionately as the Parabolica. The hairpin at turn 14, bit of a kink at 15, you want to stay on the track there. 16 we're already seen this weekend during the GT4 race just earlier. There's been some warnings for using track limits as you use the exit of that corner. A little unfair, I guess, during some of that last race, and I'm sure the stewards were watching that anyway. The conditions very, very slippery. A number of drivers just slipping over the curb on the run through the final corner. The 90-degree left-hander. Here is the field. This is the 6th round of the 2019 season for the China GT Championship. This started all the way back in mid-March at Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. We were at Ningbo Speed Park, not too far from here, as it turns out, on the 2nd to the 4th of May. And this is one of 2 visits we have this time round. Temperatures come up a little bit. It was 24 and 26 degrees before the GT4 race. It's 26 to 28 this time round. Humidity still very high. You can see tinges of blue sky, which is nice to see. First time I've seen that in the last 36 hours. So good to see improving conditions. Sounds like we have an interview again with Sophie down in the front straight.
好的，在我身旁的是68号车组的卢思豪。其实卢思豪他们的这个车组呢，昨天在 GTC 组别里边是没能完赛，因为车辆的故障。而今天呢，又是在 GTC 组别最快的圈速。那在他身旁呢，还有7号 Kings 车队的这个 GT3 组别的赛车，所以发车是很关键的。他的队友刘凯现在正在准备。那卢思豪，你觉得今天对于你自己来言，最大的挑战会是怎样 ？What is the biggest challenge for the race here today?
首先我觉得今天最大的考验就是这个有很大机会下雨了，然后所以说这个天气很难预计怎么用干胎或者是水胎，所以说这个天气拿捏很难。然后我们车的那个对天气的比较敏感，所以说我在想就希望一切顺利，然后把车带回来就好了，然后。
那基于昨天的表现，能跟我们分享一下 GTC 组别的这个竞争强度有多大 ？How intense is the GTC competition？
当然这辆车在 GTC 组别其实竞争力也是蛮好的，但是就因为这台车对那个设定的敏感程度比较大，所以在这样的状态之下，我想就还是尽力而为吧。
非常感谢思豪。思豪 just summarizes his opinion that today the most important thing concerns everyone is definitely whether it's going to be raining. He thinks it's definitely going to be rain. And at the same time, because the competition in GTC category is really competitive, so hopefully he can just have a very smooth drive throughout the end of the race. 非常感谢卢思豪。那接下来的时间呢，我们将现场的画面转交回解说间。Now it's your time. Cross back to you guys.
Thanks, Sophie. Well, Lo Ji-ho knows something that I don't, but he's a reasonably experienced campaigner, and he was out on the coalface last race, got turned around on the run into turn 1 off the start, sandwiched between 2 of the Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes AMG GT4s. Not sure whether there was any contact. There wasn't any penalties served, so it could have just been an own goal on in slippery conditions, perhaps on slick tyres, because the conditions were changing fairly rapidly. So he has faced that already. His teammate for this race who's going to start, Liu Kai, came through in third position in the end in the GT4 race. But there are the Am pole team, and what a great job by Kevin Chen and Ivan Lee to set the pole time, 2:07.336. In the end, Lin Yu, who's been doing a brilliant job in this car, number 90 that he shares with championship points leader Nick Yellerly, could only manage at 2:07.559. So it was close, but advantage to the number 92 FIS Team AAI BMW M6 GT3. That is Adam Christodoulou, who will start the race. Eric Zhang having started it yesterday, the pair going on to take victory in the Toro Racing Mercedes AMG GT3. Alessio Picarello will start the J-Fly entry for Craft Bamboo Racing. He'll hand across to Jeffrey Lee. The pair of them took victory at Suzuka in the Blancpain GT Asia Series race there last weekend. So they're pretty hot at the moment, with third yesterday. Starting from the third row, and they've been very, very impressive. Jiang Chengyi, very impressive indeed during the opening leg of the slippery first few laps of yesterday's race, round 5 of the championship. Sun Zheng, who we've seen a lot of in the past, the Chinese driver, will start the race. They are starting the number 7 car from position 5. Joel Eriksson and Betty Chen were due to start from the position there, but they didn't make a start in yesterday's race. So that looks like there's been a slight move forward to Liu Kai, we were just talking about, and Lo Ji-ho, who will start the race. I'm just checking, comparing my list with what we're actually seeing on screen. So Zhang Wangcheng will start the YC Racing Team number 918 AM Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo from position number 8. Position number 9, Min Heng will start the YC Racing AM GT3 Mercedes AMG GT3. In position 10, two-time GTC champion for China GT, CJ Huang, will start in the car he shares with Wang Tao. Another of the YC Racing Team entries. So they're starting from, with the order mixed up, probably position 7, 8 and 9. The next one in line would be QAUA. Just missed the number as we've been calling this one out. The Eagle-Eyed Racing entry for GTC. Alongside them, Dominic Ang, who alongside Songbo yesterday didn't go too far in the race. Songbo surfed off the circuit somewhere along the line into the barriers, probably in a fight for position. It was slippery, as we were talking about, in the second of the Extreme Motorsports Radical RSXs. Next in line, the 69 Racing Team entry. Daniel Liu, the young Chinese junior Porsche driver, competes in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. He's been reasonably successful, got a little bit to learn, but only a young man. Shares the number 69 entry with Jackie Wu. Daniel will start. Wu Pei on his own in another of the YC Racing Team entries. This time another Porsche Type 991 GT3 Cup car. Regulars, of course, in the Generation 2 version of the 991. Of course, regulars in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Back to the next one in line. Benjamin Rouget will start, I think that would be third of the Porsches in the One Make Porsche series, the number 10 entry. Alongside him, John Martin, the Australian, who set a blistering time that would start that entry, the number 186 YC Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo from the third row in yesterday's race. Xiao Min will take over from him. They did a great job. They came through as victors of GTC. The Porsche 991 for RSR GT Racing, number 36, will start from position number 17 by my list, although there's still some question about the Ericsson Betty Chen entry. I'm reading the list and not looking at the screen to see whether they've started. In fact, I don't think it's even listed. The number 91. Let's hope it is at rear of field. They did have dramas yesterday and didn't make a start. Further back, Jeffrey Z will start the Audi R8 LMS GT3, the Generation 1 car, number 998 for Eagle-Eyed Racing. And it's on to Steve Yin, the American in the Pro-Am 69 Racing Team Porsche 991, rounding out the field. Another of the 69 Racing Team entries, the 666 of Yang K. So let's take a look at the screen now that we've been through the full list. Sophie was saying 17 starters. I've 20 on my list. There are 18 shown on the timing monitor. And sadly for the fans of young Joel Eriksson, the Swedish driver who has already been on the podium, former runner-up in the Macau Grand Prix and a front runner in the FIA F3 European Championship in past years. We've not seen much of him. He did qualify fairly strongly in the opening race. In fact, I think they were due to start that car from the second row. Yes, from position number 3. They were the lead car. In fact, Eriksson out-qualified championship points leader Nick Yellerly, although there was only about 15 100ths in it. There's one white BMW. There are supposed to be 3 of them in the field. There should be one leading. Here it is. There's the second one. We're looking for this wide shot, if we can hold it. We're looking for the last of the BMWs. No, that looks like a Porsche. And of course, we didn't see the last of the line, I don't think. So, well, it doesn't look like we're going to be treated to a run from either Betty Chen or Joel Eriksson. That was the tail of the field. No, there was still a couple more around behind it. Porsche. The One Make series has been well represented, and a number of regulars from Carrera Cup Asia have been a part of it. Of course, Porsche are a part of this program. We have Porsches leading the field, and at the tail end, of course, the course cars. Great supporters of China GT. This championship continues to emerge. Now, as Kevin Chen rightly said on the grid to Sophie Lee, he's got some pretty serious talent around him. He's got Nick Yellerly starting alongside. He's got Alessio Picarillo and Adam Christodoulou right behind him, and they're all looking to make a move. So he has got some work on. He has lost the attentions of Joel Eriksson, who would have been his teammate in this race, but there is plenty for him to take control of. He's got the inside running potentially down to turn 1, but he knows too, he's a team player. It's FIS Team AAI, Chen Sun Chen's team, that Nick Yellerly is leading this championship. Lights red, 2 lines. Well, not really lines, they're more like snakes, but we're going to come to the line, and we're going to get a start. That was a very, very late start. How's Adam Christodoulou straight down the inside? Kevin Chen's trying to squeeze him onto the grass. Oh, he has, but he's lost a lot of positions as a result of that. He goes from the lead down to turn 1 in 6th position, is back to 7th position already. So that hasn't worked out too well for the pole sitter. Kevin Chen back in the pack. There's been a spinner. Maybe one of the Porsches, a bit hard to see from this wide angle. That really has messed things up. Who's got to the front of the field? I'd suggest it's Nick Yellerly. The Porsche has regrouped. Yellerly has Picarillo all over him. And Adam Christodoulou, who made a great start, he was squeezed by Kevin Chen, but he got through. I'd rather see the front of the field, guys, if we can. Here we go. This is where the battle is, and side by side. We saw this yesterday in the early stages after the pit stop. What's gone through on the run down to turn 8? Oh, Yellerly's just squeezed Picarillo. Picarillo won't be happy with that. He's got him up the inside, the crossover now. Yellerly wants to get that position back. Well, Alessio Picarillo's done a lot of miles around Shanghai International Circuit. He's been successful in Audis. Can he transfer that success across to the Mercedes-AMG GT3? Yes, at the moment, he has the point. Adam Christodoulou follows on from behind. I hope that was just a little bit of mist on the windscreen and not an indication that the rain again has started to fall. I'm not so sure Logie Ho's prediction that there'd be rain might come true. There is another of the Mercedes-AMG GT3s, the number 66 entry. That has moved forward very, very stoutly. Min Heng at the wheel. He's forward from position 9. That looks like he's already up to position number 5. And Kevin Chen, that's how far back he's dropped. He's back to position 6 now. 1, 2, 3. The Audi has done another brilliant job. Sun Jing has done brilliantly to get up to position number 4. He did start from position 5, and he is comfortably holding out the recovering Kevin Chen and the 66 entry with Min Heng at the wheel. Min Heng done a number of miles in this, and how about CJ Huang? This is why he's a 2-time champion in GTC. He's mixing it at the front of the field with the GT3s just to make his presence felt, but at the front of the field, that's where the race is. This is further back. This is position 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the lead that we want to see. It's 3 of the best drivers in this championship. Nick Yellerly battling with Alessio Picariello and Adam Christodoulou for the Toro Racing team. They took victory yesterday. This is the pole sitter of Kevin Chen. What's going on at the front of the field? They're a long way up now. They are a good 6 seconds in front of this battle. This isn't the fight we want to see. We want to see the battle at the front of the field. That's where the action is. This King's racing out. He's just been squeezed. Now Kevin Chen's back to position number 4. This is great. Okay, let's go to the top of the screen. Coming through turn 6 are the leaders. Well, we're not going to see them just yet. Oh, the 66, Min Heng around the outside. I'm not so sure Sun Jing's going to leave that door open. He's an experienced campaigner. The Chinese driver's done a lot of miles around this circuit, and he closes the door quite firmly on the Mercedes driver, CJ Huang, in that number 75 entry. He is in the GTC points battle. Sun Jing being hung out to dry. Min Heng's got around the outside of him, a little bit more grip. Sun Jing might have gone a little bit too deeply into turn 7. There is John Martin, who started this race a little bit further back in the field. In fact, we'll go back to John Martin. He started from position 16, and he's already up to about position number 8. Be great to see the fight at the front of the field. 3 of the best drivers in this part of the world today are battling for the front of this race. There's a second separating Alessio Picariello from Nick Yellerly. There's just 0.3 of a second separating Adam Christodoulou from Nick Yellerly. There they are at the front of the field. So Picariello is off like a hare. It looks like Yellerly's got away a little bit from Christodoulou. You can see just how big the advantage is to position 4. Kevin Chen has taken that position back. It looks like, unfortunately, Sun Jing's losing positions now, under fire from the leading GTC entries. CJ Huang, 2-time champion. Sun Jing's got out on the grass and he hasn't held it. He spun it. The number 7 entry. It has won multiple races in China GT. The King's Racing operation, two-time champion. Xu Jia, the Chinese driver, a 2-time champion in GT3 for China GT. This is Sun Jing. This is his debut with this car. And that's not the way he wanted to end lap number 2. So 2 laps in the book. Alessio Picariello already fastest on track. He's just done a 2:07.3. 2:08.1 for Yellerly. 2:08.1 for Adam Christodoulou. 2:12.212 for the 2 GTC cars further back. In fact, no, that's Kevin Chen and the 66 entry of Min Heng. So they are a good 5 seconds down on the pace of the race leader. And they are now shown about 13 seconds back. So Min Heng just trying to get the drive out of turn 6. Probably lost too much momentum, pulling in deep. And that's allowed Kevin Chen to get away. And what a revelation Kevin Chen and Ivan Lee have been. They were front runners in GT4 and China GT last year, progressed through from the M4 GT4 up until the M6 GT3. Really pressed on. CJ Huang doing a great job. He's got a driver the calibre of John Martin behind him. Martin can't get round. Martin's been involved in a number of things, from A1 Grand Prix back in the day, a one-make global open wheel championship. He's gone to LMP2 and been on the podium at the top of the World Endurance Championship. He's won races in Australian GT in a Porsche. He's been competitive in a number of cars. A bit of a wiggle coming through the corner, getting into the parabolic of CJ Huang. And that might just be all John Martin needs to have a sniff, pull out of the draft and overtake the number 75 entry as they get down to the breaking point. Christodoulou's closed in again on Nick Yellerly. This is for championship. Christodoulou and Eric Zhang, a great win earlier. We're going back to a replay of the start. Now, Kevin Chen left of screen. He held pole position. Nick Yellerly on the right. And whilst Kevin Chen's turned his focus to trying to squeeze out Adam Christodoulou, almost put the Mercedes onto the grass, the number 63 entry. He's opened the door for a couple of drivers, one of which was Sun Jing in the all-blue Audi R8 LMS GT3 back in position 4. Min Heng too, very strong off the start. Oh, a little bit of contact perhaps further back, and that may have been Dominic Ang. And that's not the start that he and Song Bo wanted in the 25 Radical RXC, now that I've noticed what's happened back there. And this, I think, is still replay. Yep. Top right corner of the screen. It's down at turn 6. And this was this great charge from Alessio Picariello on the opening lap to push his way through on Nick Yellerly. And he currently leads this race by 2.8 seconds as Yellerly has Adam Christodoulou all over his tail. Sunjeng losing a bit of position here. Just watch him go onto the grass. Moved a little bit wide to try and perhaps get the crossover on the exit. The Spirit Z driver for Kings Racing unfortunately lost the tail of the car. There is the leader. Picariello is untroubled at the front of the field. 2:07.8 last time round, 2:08.9 for Yellowly, 2:09.1 for Adam Christodoulou. In fact, it may have been a 2:08.1. Very difficult to read the numbers. Car number 8 under investigation for grid procedure. Now, car number 8, we'll go back down the list of entries. Wu Pei in the YC Racing Am Porsche. He was the fastest qualifier in the Porsche One Make Championship. So frustrating for him. Now there's a radical RXC there in the mix. That's not for position. So that's been a drama. And, not something you want to see. That's Liu Kai's entry. He was running very strongly in the GT4 race. In fact, finished second. That's just happened a bit over an hour ago. It was alongside Lo Ji Ho. So they've dropped back down the order. I think the number 68 entry is shown dead last. It's already spent some time in pit lane. Another car's just gone down pit lane. Oh no. Extreme Motorsports team might have had a reasonable time in the GT4 race, but not so lucky in the GTC classification. Both of their cars have now hit pit lane. So Dominic Ang, potentially as a result of that contact with the Porsche, well, there he is on screen. It's the orange and blue car, just getting out of the way. Very experienced campaigner. He knows what he's doing. He's watching the mirrors and just got out of the way on this battle for second position as Nick Yellowly continues to keep Adam Christodoulou at bay. Factory BMW driver, factory AMG driver. Alessio Picariello, well, gun for hire as it stands right now, but showing against the best in the world that he is more than a mix. He showed that last weekend alongside Jeffrey Lee, his second win of the year for Craft Bamboo Racing, and J-Fly was part of the Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia. That was Suzuka in Japan. They're off back there next weekend. In fact, all of us are off to Japan. Fuji Speedway, the next event. It's a circuit that likely will suit the thunderous 6.3 litre Mercedes AMG with that 1.5 kilometre long main straight. In the shadow of Mount Fuji, the iconic Mount Fuji, a beautiful part of the world. Right now we're at Shanghai International Circuit and watching some outstanding racing again for China GT. It's been a hallmark of this championship since the inaugural season in 2016 that there have been factory drivers, factory support, and a lot of interest from around the world. And you see that on screen right now. Unfortunately, again, Joel Eriksson didn't start this race. They didn't make the grid yesterday after qualifying in position 3. In fact, Eriksson on his debut for China GT with this team AAI out-qualified championship points leader Nick Yellowly, who's had 3 wins so far this year to stand at the top of the points table. Been very impressed by Lin Yu, who joined him last time out at Ningbo, and been a great support to Nick Yellowly. And he's certainly contributed to the result that Yellowly and Yu yesterday classified in position number 2. And the car immediately under Nick Yellowly's rear wing. Christodoulou Toro Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 that he shares with Eric Zahn. That was the car that took the victory yesterday. So the results reversed. In fact, the car that's currently leading this race was 3rd yesterday. So we have a reverse of the order. Currently 1, 2, 3. Were 3, 2, 1 yesterday. And for Nick Yellowly, who has a very comfortable provisional championship points lead of 20 points, which is 1 whole race, he would like nothing more than to bag a few more points today. Now, he's not really in the title race with Alessio Picariello at the moment, although the young Belgian has added some more championship points. He's back in 6th position with 48 points, but his teammate, Jeffrey Lee, who ran alongside, oh, there we are, the move down the inside. Will he get him on the crossover? I'm not sure he will. The pace of Adam Christodoulou suggests that he wants to get back onto the tail somewhere along the line of Alessio Picariello, who's 4.3 seconds down the road. And Christodoulou's forced his way through on the run down to turn 9 and taken the position away on the inside of Nick Yellowly. Now, that will be interesting to see what happens after the stop. Now, everybody has to come in for a compulsory pit stop. The window opens in about 12 minutes' time at the 25-minute mark, sorry, 25-minute mark of this race. You can see Yellowlee's trying to take something out of the slipstream from Adam Christodoulou. He must be worried that 4.4 litre M Sport, BMW M V8 twin turbo. It's a little bit more hustle in a straight line than the 6.3 litre naturally aspirated V8. And you may see that change in the not too distant future with that AMG association who is caught up with the lap car too. So Christodoulou didn't get the perfect line coming through the final corner. That might have cost him just a little bit of time and opened the door for Yellowlee, who may have a bit of a straight line advantage, but certainly with the pace of Picarello at the front of the field and the ability of Christodoulou to get around the outside of Nick Yellowlee, you would tend to suggest that the balance of the AMG is better suited to the Shanghai circuit than perhaps the BMW. And you can see that visibly there as coming through the turn 1, 2, 3 complex, which is pretty testing for any car. Christodoulou has managed to pull a couple of lengths on Yellowlee. It's the two English drivers. This is a little bit further back. That was the car that we're talking about, Liu Kai, who's already been down pit lane. That's Min Heng in the 66 Mercedes. He's in position number 4, so they're having a pretty stellar run too. We haven't seen too much of them. Very good, 22 seconds, 23 seconds back, or Min Heng is rather, 23 seconds back from the race leader. So Mercedes AMG 1, 2 and 4. BMW M6 GT3, did I say GT4? Sorry, Mercedes AMG GT3, 1, 2 and 4. M6 BMWs in positions number 3 and 5, and then we're on to the leader of GTC. Now, what's happened in all of this is we've lost the 868. I think it's the 868. John Martin's, no, it's the 186. So the 186 has had a drama, and I would suggest it's hit pit lane. Yes, it has. So John Martin is in fact back in position number 15. Excuse me, there's been a lot of talking this weekend. They were battling with the 75. That was over position 6 in this race, and now the GTC points leader, sorry, the GTC race leader, CJ Huang, a two-time champion in the category, is comfortably alone in position 6. He's got a 4.7 second advantage over the number 9 entry. At the moment, that is QAUA in the Porsche. And next in line is the 998, which is another of the GTC entries, which started, in fact, Jeffrey Z from position 18. So the Generation 1 Audi R8 LMS GT3 is already up to position number 9 in this race. The 998 up to position number 8. So a storming drive from Jeffrey Z. Nick Yellowlee hasn't let go of the tail of Adam Christodoulou. We come into the compulsory pit window. That's where we were a couple of minutes ago. We're talking down that line. Oh, here's another great battle. That is the 75. Well, that's Kevin Chen. He's been taken for position by CJ Huang. This is not the first time we've seen this, of course. CJ Huang's been very impressive in that Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. No, the drive through the corner of the balance of the car much better for Kevin Chen, the pole sitter. He's managed to weather that storm. But how good is CJ Huang? Last year, he did it on his own. This time round, he's racing alongside Wang Tao, who also drove a Huracan Super Trofeo last year. He has some good experience. In fact, I think from memory, he drove alongside Chris Vanderdrift a couple of times. Memory's a shocking thing once you get over 50. You can't always rely on it, so apologies if I got that wrong. But at the front of the field, there's no denying the race leader. 6.3 seconds now. 2:08. So 2:06, very difficult to read. Picarello still storming around regardless. His best lap 2:07, so clearly it's 2:08.1. 2:08.5 for Christodoulou, 2:09.1 for Nick Yellowlee. The 66 entry. Min Heng's doing a storming job too, 2:10.7. And then we go back to Kevin Chen, who's doing 2:12, so he's best at 2:11 dead. There is Picarello, there is Christodoulou, and there is Nick Yellowlee. Mercedes, Mercedes, BMW, and back to Mercedes, then BMW, Lamborghini, and Porsche. Back into the Lamborghinis again, further back. John Martin's car, unfortunately, still in pit lane. Now, what's interesting is the car that he shares with Xiaomin also ran in a 12-lap Sino GT race, which is a support act to this, and took victory by 8/1000th of a second from a current generation, or a 2018 spec. It's got the Shark wing, or the Shark fin, rather, Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo, the next generation car, in a race just a couple of hours ago. So that car was ready to go. It was very racy, but I have to say it did come out of the last corner in that 12-lap race and almost make it easy for the second place Super Trofeo to pull alongside and cross the line just marginally behind. So whether they had a drama as a result of that, I'm not sure, because certainly in the opening laps, John Martin stormed through onto the tail. He started this race from position number 16. He'd got himself up to position 7, was looking to make another charge through. They took the win in the GTC race yesterday, about 7th or 8th outright, and he was looking to repeat that performance before handing over to his Chinese teammate. But now he is classified last. I'd say that car has been retired and still in pit lane. So frustrating for John Martin, but a solid performance. Qualified 5th fastest, so out-qualified a small handful of GT3 cars in his maiden performance here in China GT. So strong showing there. No doubt has effectively invited himself back as a result of that performance. Disappointing not to be able to carry that on in this race. So we're nearly at 1/3 race distance. We're still 6 minutes or so away from the pit window opening. Traditionally, the slower of the two drivers would be immediately in as soon as the window opens and they have that opportunity to come down pit lane. The faster of these drivers, certainly in the case of, I'm not sure, maybe he's waving, maybe he's got a screen on in the car and he's watching the program. He just wanted to say good day to his friends and family. But I'm not sure really who Adam Christodoulou thought he was flashing, unless somehow he thought he was signalling the pit lane that something was going on. But he's not going to upset Alessio Piccirillo. Many have tried, not too many have made it work. There is Min Heng. There is the car that Dominic Ang started. There's the Radical RXC turbo, 3.5-litre Ford power plant, turbocharged. Of course, significantly lower weight than many of the GT3 cars. In fact, we go to the weight of the Extreme Motorsports Radicals. They're at 1140 kilos. You talk about something like the bulk of the fields, the Mercedes AMG GT3 at 1390. Well, that's the 63 entries carrying 1390 kilos. Of course, there is some ballast by virtue of the success in the championship. It's an equaliser. The idea is to make sure the drivers ultimately get as close as they can to racing door to door in the closing laps of a race. That's why we have a compulsory pit stop with multiple times. If you have a Pro-Am combination, you will stop longer than an Am combination. And if you have been successful in the championship, you will often carry success ballast or be stopped longer in pit lane during your compulsory stop. Leave pit lane too early, and you'll be faced with a drive-through penalty. There's a drive-through penalty, speaking of which, for car 8. That's the one we were talking about a little bit earlier. Nothing's changed there. Breach of starting grid procedure. That is the 75 of Song Bo and Dominic Ang, Malaysian driver. He was at Le Mans with Douglas Koo, who's a great competitor from Malaysia, the Vipanesa racing operation in LMP3. They didn't have a bad run. Dominic, obviously very experienced in sports car competition, a Malaysian driver, so he joined his compatriot, and they had a great time. This is, it's the pole sitter. It's Kevin Chen still charging around. He will hand the car over very shortly, of course, to his teammate, the driver he drove alongside in GT4 last year. And Ivan Lee started that race. I was just checking that because I very nearly said Oscar Lee again. Apologies to Oscar and to Ivan. Ivan Lee and Kevin Chen, a great combination last year in China GT and GT4, and great to see the progression with their chosen team. FIS Team AOI, Jun Sun Chen's crew. 4 cars here again this weekend. And sadly, one of those, the 91, Betty Chen, and Joel Eriksson, not running for the second race. They've had a technical issue too for Dominic Ang. The lights just flashed then. I wonder whether the lights have gone out inside. He's just had to reset the system. That's the sister car with Lo Ji Ho, who was predicting in this race that there would be rain. So let's hope he's wrong. It's stayed away at this stage. CJ Huang just battling through. Of course, these guys are on different laps because CJ is running at the front of this field. He's in position 6 outright and leading GTC. The 9, the 998 and the 918 are immediately behind him for track position, but a little bit further down. That's the 9 with lights flashing, I think, not too far behind. In fact, it's only 3 seconds back from the GTC leader. So this is not really what CJ wants. He doesn't want to be held up by a lapped car, even though he knows that lapped car with, it's Liu Kai who started the race. We spoke to Lo Ji Ho on the grid. He doesn't want to be held up for too long because that's going to allow the number 9 entry. It's got Wu Pai at the wheel. No, in fact, that's the number 8 entry. The number 9 entry will have Hua Yue, a very accomplished driver. He's driving alongside Lawrence Liu. This year, CJ too hard on the gas. He's clearly getting very annoyed, and he's losing track position. And at some point, perhaps we might see a blue flag for Liu Kai, who's back there in position number 15. So he's on lap number 10. CJ Huang in position number 6 is on lap number 11. The flame-throwing 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10. Similar engine to that in the Audis, with the Generation 1 and Generation 2 cars. Lights flashing. He wants to get through. He's not going to try any desperates. The weight advantage to the Radical will no doubt help it. We'll go through to the weights of the, 1340 kilos, so 200 kilos different. One's got a turbocharged 3.5 litre Ford engine. The other's got a naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10. But look at the ground that the Radical has managed to extract coming through the Parabolica. So this is costing CJ Huang. You can see the difference between them on track. Hua Yue is really storming. He's picked up a lot of time on that last lap, and some of that I would attribute to Liu Kai in that lapped Radical RXC. Blue flag out now. Whether that makes any difference, I don't know, but if you ignore blue flags often enough, you'll find yourself with one that's a different colour, and that'll see a visit to pit lane. As there is your race leader up front, comfortable still, 6 seconds now, so the pace is equalised. 2:09.0 last time out for Picariello. Adam Christodoulou in position number 2 in the Toro Racing Machine, that dark red and black number 63, 2:08.7, so 3/10 quicker to the Englishman. 2:10.0 for Yellowly, who's now 4.4 seconds back, so he's near 11 seconds down on the race leader. That's not where he wants to be. Wonder whether the team have a fresh set of slick tyres. Of course, with the wet conditions yesterday, able to bank their Control Michelin tyre pool. 2 sets from the start of qualifying through to the end of race 2. That might put some of these teams in a good position. And no doubt, if there are spare tyres for Yellowly, you can guarantee that these 2 cars in front of him also have a bank of tyres in which to choose from. So the pit window has opened. Notification has just come. Yep. 25 seconds ago. So let's see who dives down pit lane. Currently the only ones in there, well, the 666 has gone into pit lane. Wonder whether that may well have been for position. It's shown in position 16, and it may be on its way out of pit lane now. So could have been a pit stop, although the 666 Young Cag did start at the rear of this field. So perhaps not. No surprise that Christodoulou, Picariello and Yellowly are continuing to circulate. Now, of their co-drivers, Jeffrey Lee last weekend against some very stiff competition managed to hold them out to give he and Picariello victory at Suzuka. That was a harder circuit, arguably, to overtake on. It's an old-school F1 circuit. Of course, a venue of some very famous Formula 1 races over the years. Not a lot of runoff, not a lot of room to manoeuvre the car. So opportunities to overtake were limited. Jeffrey does drive a wide car when he needs to. He managed to drive probably as well as we've seen him drive over the last 3 or 4 years to hang on to that victory. So he's capable of running at the front. Now he has Eric Zhang, who's been very impressive over the last couple of months in China GT. He has made a couple of minor errors, but he is learning. He's not the pro in that car. That's Adam Christodoulou. Now Nick Yellowly, he may well be best positioned in this. That's why he doesn't want to lose too much pace. If they've got some rubber left for their compulsory pit stop. Lin Yu could be the driver to keep a close eye on. I'd expect he'll be the faster of the three, but currently the BMW doesn't have the pace. Now, when they come in for their stop, they'll be stopping for 77 seconds. That is a reasonably big number. Christodoulou and Eric Zhang stopping for 79, and the winners in this by 4 seconds over the 63 Mercedes are Picariello and Lee. They will be stopping for 75 seconds. So they have the shorter stop. They're currently leading. Then it's down to Jeffrey Lee to maintain that pace. That could be interesting, but Jeffrey qualified this car with a 2:08.1, whereas Lin Yu qualified with a 2:07.5, so he was about 0.6 faster. And Kevin Chen qualified with a 2:07.3. Is that the number 9 entry? It's the first of the GTC cars to come in, so the pit stops are starting. There is a couple. The 7's in. Okay, so the King's Racing Audi has come in, and Jiang Chengyi takes that car over, drop back to position number 10. The 69 entry is also shown as being in pit lane. So that's Daniel Yu. He's done his start. I would have expected perhaps to see Daniel Yu a little bit further up the field, but he could have been the car that was tagged early in the race by Dominic Ang. So that might be the reason they're further back. Jackie Wu will have taken that car over. So it's heading out the gate. There is the 69 entry. We're just talking about it. So Daniel Yu was in, Jackie Wu was out, and I've got a funny feeling it was that colour. So here we are back with the Radical, and they are further back in the field. In fact, the 68 and the 25, the two Extreme Motorsports Radicals, we expect to see them running a lot further up the field, are in positions 15 and 16. And, well, one's 1 lap down, one's 2 laps down on the field. So they're not having a good time, but have some level of compensation from the fact that they were both running strongly in GT4 this weekend and had podium finishes. So it won't be all a loss for the Extreme Motorsports operation. Got a base here too at Shanghai, so good to see that for them. Lights flashing for Alessio Picariello. Oh, okay. Not good necessarily to have a lap car roadblock you like that. That wasn't great at all, although, again, we make this point regularly. Vision in these cars isn't great. And no doubt, there's Lin Kang still behind the wheel. He was focused, sorry, Liu Kai, he was focused on eyes forward. He was watching the car in front of him. And he wasn't probably aware, despite the fact Alessio Picariello's got the headlights on, that Picariello had stormed up and caught him. Now, Picariello may have lost some track time there. 4.874 seconds coming in. The 666 gets out of the way. 666 back in position number 17, well back down the order. 3 laps down as the race leader just completes that advantage. Blue flag waving. Let them know that Christodoulou is not too far behind. So it was 4.87 last time round. What's the gap now? 3.5. So that little manoeuvre, unfortunately by Liu Kai, has cost Alessio Picariello 1.3 seconds. That took him about 3 or 4 laps to build up, so he'd be pretty dirty about that. 29 minutes left in this race. Maybe one more lap after this one for Alessio Picariello. They will push the window as far as they can. Craft Bamboo Racing, one of the most experienced operations in this part of the world. They'll have the calculator working overtime. The engineers will be on it and trying to work out exactly when the best time will be for the race leader to hit pit lane and hand across to Jeffrey Lee. They don't need to do it early. They don't need to risk getting into pit lane too late. So it will be tight. We'll be close with just on 29 minutes to go. Min Heng still moving around in position number 4 in the number 66 entry. Great starts from probably the 4th row with the absence of the Ericsson. Betty Chen, FIS Team AAI BMW. We haven't had the opportunity to see Joel Eriksson show what he is capable of. There's already been a podium finisher for BMW and DTM this year. Lights flashing for Adam Christodoulou. It's a strange moment. That's why I wonder whether he's just saying hi, Mum, back home, or to wife and partner. I'm here. And I'm not able to really do too much about this flying young Belgian ahead of me. He storms around for one more lap. Will Toro Racing bring him in early? Now, we have 2 minutes. They will go one more lap, I would almost guarantee, unless they desperately want to play it safe. There's 3 minutes before the window closes, and they're not far off pit entry now. So it suggests that Alessio Picarillo will go around one more time. He tips across to the turn-in point, hits the apex, and he's going to do it. What are Toro Racing going to do? No, they've taken the safe option. This could be exactly what Craft Bamboo need. This could be the decisive moment in this race. Going one more lap before Eric Zhang gets in the car. Again, last weekend, Jeffrey Lee went through to take victory alongside Picarillo in a hotly contested Blancpain GT Series World Challenge Asia race in Suzuka. There is Thomas Erb in the white shirt with the camera in the thick of the action. Mercedes-AMG China boss. Loves his motorsport. A great supporter of it. A big part of the program here for China GT this year. He'll be loving every bit of this, especially having a Mercedes 1-2 as it stands at the moment. Nick Yellowly, what did he do? Did they come down pit lane? No, they didn't. I wouldn't have expected them to either, because he can make up some ground here. Eric Zhang, a little bit of pressure on, because he has a couple of competitive drivers either side of him. I still like the look of Lin Yu. It just depends on how much they've lost in that run into pit lane and how much they're going to lose during the compulsory stop. Songbo now in the 25 car, well down in that Golf blue and orange Radical RXC. Eric comes out just ahead of him, so the release there was okay. Min Heng now out of the 66 entry. He hands over to Lin Nan. As Eric Zhang fires out of pit lane. No sign of the leaders yet. Now, Alessio Picarillo is coming down the long back straight. He's not too far away from hitting pit lane and affecting his compulsory stop. There he is, coming down to the braking point. Behind him is Nick Yellowly. Yellowly now is, I think he's about 10 seconds behind, although it didn't look that. So whether or not Picarillo's lost a little bit more ground getting around another of the back markers, let's see as they come into pit lane. So it's tight, isn't it? It's going to be even tighter for the FIS team AI entry. Gee, hasn't he used all of the circuit? 37, 36, 35. He's now effectively in pit lane. They've done it. So Yellowly will be even tighter, about 20 seconds before he gets to the pit lane entry. They've made it. The rest of the field should be in pit lane. If they haven't, they're going to be cutting it very, very tight. In fact, the only one that might be on the bubble is Rujay and Chan in the number 10 Porsche. They're in 8th position. They've not shown as hitting pit lane yet. And depending on where they are on the track, they may have missed the window. Window is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, closed. Whoops. Now, hopefully for them, that's not a problem. It doesn't appear they're in pit lane. They might be in pit lane now. No, they're just coming through the 3rd sector. That was a little bit too tight. So Picarillo's out. Jeffrey Lee is in. The key will be where they rejoin in this race. They should actually gain time on their rivals, Lin Yu and Eric Zhang, but it'll remain to be seen when they leave pit lane. Don't see too many mistakes come from the Craft Bamboo operation these days, so I wouldn't expect they will have released Jeffrey Lee too early. So Jeffrey's out. Where is Lin Yu? Okay, that's a better angle. There is Eric Zhang. So advantage has been maintained, but Jeffrey needs to get up to speed as quickly as he can. This is his opening lap. He will be searching for grip. He'll be getting the feel for the car. I didn't see whether the team actually changed any tyres, but Jeffrey has got a little bit of work ahead of him. Eric Zhang, meantime, he has a lap in the books now. He knows where the car is. He's settled in, and he's going to have a good think about it. So 12 seconds was the advantage to Picarillo over Yellowly when they came into pit lane. Now, Jeffrey's struggling just to come to terms with it, I think, on the cold tyres. Not cold, they've cooled off, unless they have made that tyre change. Tyre warmers are a part of China GT. The window is closed. Rujay and Chan are in now. I think they might be in for a second time. It's not my decision, quite obviously. I'm only making an observation based on what I can see with the times, and the only car still left out by the time that window closed was the number 10 Porsche. And starting the number 10 Porsche was Ben Rouget. So Simon Chan takes over that car. They were first, second, third in class one-make Porsche category from the grid, from the start of the race. They've got themselves up into the lead. That is the 66 entry, which is back in position number 4. At least it was prior to the compulsory stops. Lin Nan now behind the wheel of the YC Racing Team Mercedes AMG GT3. So Mercedes at the front of the field. Now CJ1 has been in. Wang Tao is now behind the wheel of the 75 entry. They are still the leaders in GTC. Yes, they are. So Rouget and Chan, who were up as high as 5th position, looks like they're on their way out of pit lane now. And we'll see what happens there as we go into the final third of this race. The battle will be at the front of the field. We'll get an idea now. The leaders coming through the final corner and about to head to the line one more time. This one-make Porsche battle really is heating up. Further back, the 69. No, it's Jackie Wu. And next in line is the 36, maybe Lawrence Liu. So that could have been a change of position there. As the 75 entry of Wang Tao carries on. So across the line, the advantage is 5.4 seconds to Jeffrey Lee. Lin Yu is back 8.3 seconds. So he's about 14 seconds back from the race leader. The race leader on screen is Jeffrey Lee. Very experienced campaigner. A regular for many years in Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. And more miles in that category than anyone else. You can see the gap now. That's what 5.4 seconds looks like. Further back is Lin Yu. And we'll look at the laps next time round. So 2:11.2 as opposed to 2:08.1 for Adam Christodoulou. So that's pretty impressive when you look at Eric Zhang's lap times. Just 3 seconds on his first flying lap slower than his highly credentialed teammate. This is the kind of partnership that can see race wins. Of course, they were the winner yesterday. They are carrying a balance of performance by way of ballast and a little bit of extra stop time during the compulsory stop. As a result of that run, or a little bit squirrely coming into the parabolic, and may have just lost a tenth or two as a result of that. What will be interesting to see the lap times next time round. Now look at the top of the screen. We will see Lin Yu. But for now, you may not see him. We're about to go down to pit lane for an interview.
好的，那从第4位发车，现在他们暂时领先的88号车组的 Alessio so started from 4th and now leading the race. Tell us about your session, especially overtaking so many cars, taking the lead.
Yeah, I knew today it was important to have a good start and a good first lap, so I gave everything I had. I had a nice move on Nick. It was pretty close, but I knew I had to do it to pull away from the beginning on, which worked. And yeah, then at the end I managed to pull away, but towards the end it was pretty hard on tires and traffic. I lost a lot because of traffic, but at the end we managed to have a good pit stop, and Jeffrey pit out with a decent gap, so now finger crossed.
Thank you so much, Alessio, and good luck for Jeffrey. 那Alessio 呢跟我们大家分享了一下，就是他的这个部分呢，因为起步的时候也是非常不错的，所以顺利上掉了好几辆车。但是呢，发现他想拉开距离的时候，因为有前方还有慢车的阻挡，所以并没有能够成功。不过现在呢，离开 P 房的时候，李永德已经是在第1位的位置，也希望他们的88号车走好运。接下来的时间呢，转交回我们的解说间 Cross Back to your guys.
Well, it's not looking too bad for Jeffrey, but I think he's in danger of losing position before very much longer. 2:12.8 his first flying lap, and you can see just how close that, well, we don't really need to call it. It was 3 seconds as they crossed the line, but Eric Zhang already not too far behind the J-Fly boss, Jeffrey Lee, and 2:11.8, so 2:10.4 was 2.4 seconds that Eric Zhang took out of Jeffrey Lee on that last lap. And even Lin Yu is taking out time, 2:11.8 to a 2:12.8. He took a second out. He's got a bit more work to do. So Eric Zhang showing just how much he's learnt over the last 12 months with that team and with Adam Christodoulou alongside. So he's taking full advantage of that. This could be back-to-back wins here for the number 63 team. And what an impressive result that would be. Yesterday's conditions very testing, and I made the comment that Eric Zhang had contributed very heavily towards the end result. very, very treacherous and slippery conditions. And the only thing he's got to do is got to make a clean move on Jeffrey Lee. It's all very well and good to catch someone. But if Eric Zhang's done much study on 1J Lee, you'll find that he is arguably one of the toughest customers in the business to actually overtake. So let's go down to pit lane. We're going to miss potentially the overtaking move, but let's have a chat.
好，身旁的是63号车组的 Adam. Adam, taking the win yesterday, which is a pretty good start of the weekend. Would you like to share with us, because it has 50 kg in your car, how heavy was it?
Yeah, it felt heavy. It felt like a bus. Of course, compared to qualifying where we run low fuel and no weight in the car, it's like 100 kilos heavier, and you really feel this. Like, it feels really heavy. And plus, with the fuel moving, it wasn't easy, but I had an okay start. It was very close going into turn one, but yeah, the other Mercedes and BMW managed to get past, and I eventually got past Nick, and towards the end I was catching up the other AMG, so yeah, feeling pretty good. Eric's doing a great job. He's getting closer and getting closer. We just need him to stay calm.
Cross finger for Eric and just keep the update. Thank you so much, Adam. Adam 跟大家分享了一下，就是他们发车的时候呢，因为有50公斤在车上的负重，所以整个车其实整体感觉是重了大概100公斤这样。所以呢，当他开车的时候是很难去操控的。而在1号弯的时候呢，因为被另外2辆，一辆AMG，一辆宝马超过，所以到现在呢，最后在第2的位置回到 P 房。那接下来时间呢，我们继续将现场转交回解说间 ，Cross back to you guys.
Talk about picky moments. Lap traffic has had an impact, but Eric Zhang still storming through. I was wondering whether or not he was closing in so quickly, whether Eric Zhang would be able to make that move whilst we were talking to his teammate, Adam Christodoulou, but he hasn't been able to do it. So Jeffrey may have found something here too. There'll be a little bit of slipstream too for Eric Zhang behind the Porsche. That's cut a bit of a hole in the air, but the gap is down to, well, I'd say it's just over a second. 2:11.4 for Jeffrey last time round, 2:10.3, so it was another second gained to Eric Zhang. He's done a great job. 2:12.2 though for Lin Yu. He's dropped right back. So, okay, my early prediction about him being right in this battle at the front has probably dropped off. They've lost a bit of pace. May have used the best of their tyres in order to get Nick Yellerly further forward in the field. And that was, well, there is car 10? One of the Porsches, and we're talking about car 10, Ben Rouget and Simon Chan. They are under investigation. In fact, no, they've got a 60-second time penalty. They missed the pit window. We did wonder whether that was the case. It's just come up on the bottom of the screen. So frustrating for them. But here is the battle, and it's gotten very, very close. One thing to catch a driver, another one to get through. Eric Zhang's looking at it already. So Jeffrey closes the door as they come out of turn 4, down to turn 5. Could it be deep under brakes? He needs to make a decisive move. Jeffrey at least knows he's there. It's not going to be a surprise if somebody suddenly goes down the inside, but it's up to Eric Zhang to make that move and to make it cleanly. This part of the circuit, funnily enough, Alessio Picariello had a championship battle come to an end with Alex Young, a 3-time Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup champion a couple of years ago, with a move that was a little sketchy. In the end, the result was sorted in the steward's office. That's not what we want to see here. Jeffrey will close the door as much as he can. Eric Zhang perhaps might be better off just following him around. We've still got just under 15 minutes to go in this race. Effectively, light years for Eric Zhang to have a good look at exactly where the best position will be for him to make that move. That could be the number 10. It seems to be dropping down the order that is stopped at the side of the circuit just there on right of screen. Leading this race, the 88 entry for Craft Bamboo, EWS Craft Bamboo and J-Fly Racing, Jeffrey Lee. Very, very experienced campaigner. Safety car. Wow, didn't see that one coming. On a straight part of the circuit. There may be other dramas around this circuit, but we're under safety car. So, Jeffrey will pick that up pretty quickly. He can just ease off the pressure. Then it's game back on for Eric Zhang. What this does, though, is this well and truly opens the door for Lin Yu. He's got a Porsche immediately ahead of him, but he was back by just on 14 seconds, which is about where he started. He got it down to about 12 seconds back from the leaders as they started to battle, but dropped back to 14 seconds again. So let's take a run down to pit lane and have another chat with Sophie.
身旁的现在是75号车组的黄西展，他们的车呢现在是 GTC 组别的领先。那其实西展这一次我们已经是第3站了，然后6场比赛到目前为止还没有获胜的记录，但是到目前为止应该还是很有希望登上最高的领奖台。说一说你这个部分的完成情况，尤其是从第9位发车到目前的一个位置。
车队为了这一场比赛做了非常多的准备与努力，然后我们的技师也很努力的一直在调整我们的车辆，希望让我跟王涛之间能够找到一个比较协调的驾驶风格。那我们昨天本来也许有一个机会，但是因为我个人一点点的失误，所以昨天变第2名完赛。那今天起跑的时候，我有一个很好的路线，我找到一条蛮好的线，所以我也顺利的超越了几辆车。那在前面 GT3 跟GTC 的一些缠斗当中，我也找到了很好的空档，对，所以还是要感谢我们技师把车子调教得非常好，让我开起来非常的顺心顺手。
谢谢西展。西展 just share with us that he thanks to the whole teams and engineers, especially a Just Car in the perfect condition, let he and Wang Tao have a cohesive move with each other. Because yesterday the race it didn't go very well for Huang Xizhan because he made few mistakes, didn't finish the whole race. But today so far so good, leading the race. Thank you so much, and see you later on the podium. Now it's your time, cross back to your guys. 接下来时间转回到我们的解说间。
I'm assuming the safety car is still there. Yep, there it is. That's a good thing. Now the clock is still winding down. 11 minutes 30 to go in this race. There is 1, 2, and 3 in this race. Leading, Jeffrey Lee. Second, Eric Sung. The Porsche is out of position a lap down, so it is not in this battle. Third in that group of cars battling at the front of this field is Lin Yu, who's already a 2-time winner this year, alongside Nick Yellowly, who is the championship points leader. Now, this is provisionally. I just did a little bit of quick mathematics earlier today before the start of this race. Yellowly with 3 wins out of 5. A third and a second is on 94 points. Second provisionally on 74 points is Jeffrey Lee. So Jeffrey will be keen to retain this position. Third, equal third, Frank Yu, who's not in this race, but still holding third in the championship in the car he shares with Jasmine Jafar. Sadly for them, they've also got cars on the water. Well, they're not on the water, they're actually on land in Japan. Competed last weekend at Suzuka, next weekend in Fuji, so not enough spare cars in the team to ensure that they had both the Craft Bamboo operated AMGs in the field this weekend. Fourth in the championship is Lin Yu, by virtue of his 2 wins, and third yesterday alongside Nick Yellowly. So they are the form teams in this championship this year. In GTC, things are a little bit differently. Zhu Bowen is leading the championship on 86 points. Second on 52, CJ Huang and Wang Tao. And third in the championship is Zheng Wencheng.
趁现在我们的赛场上是黄旗的一个状况啊，刚好遇到了66号车组的闵恒，因为呢他们是在 AA 组别，现在是位居第1的。其实我们这一站的比赛有很强劲的对手，而且也算是Shanghai GT的老将，能跟我们分享一下这一场整周末的比赛你的一个表现？
今天发车还是比较完美，虽然从后面第8位发车，然后受到了很多 GTC 车的阻挡，但是在发车的时候还是做得很好，很快就追到了全场第4的位置，然后拉开组别后面的那台车大概有3到40秒的差距。现在但是出了安全车，我的队友在上面，然后现在组别的那个车又追回来了。我希望他尽量守住他的位置。
谢谢闵恒。So Minhan shared with us at the very beginning because they start at the last half of the grid, so it's very uncomfortable because they have been stopped by GTC cars. However, he managed to go to the 4th place, and so far the gap between their car and their opponent has shrunk. So he's a little bit bothered by the situation right here. Good luck for you for car number 66, and now it's our time. Cross back to our guys. 接下来时间转回到我们的解说间。
Timing's impeccable as the field heads down through turn 9 to 10. We are 8 minutes left in this race. The safety car lights are off. Well, they're not, but they're saying the safety car comes in this lap. So clearly the safety car doesn't have the email yet that lights should be off. no doubt they will go off shortly. And we will be racing maybe 3, 4 tops laps left in this race. And the battle will be on. What has Eric Zhang seen? Has he in fact seen enough to be able to keep up with Jeffrey Lee and fire down the inside at some point? This is very much deja vu. This was a position that Jeffrey Lee was in last weekend at Suzuka in Japan. We're talking about the victory he and Alessio took at in the Blancpain GT World Challenge Asia race there. In the closing stages there was a safety car again, and Jeffrey was forced to defend over about 4 laps, and he was able to do that against some of the most experienced GT drivers in the world. So that will be interesting. Now, Jeffrey's closed right up on the tail of the safety car. Oh, a little bit, maybe a brake test. Lights are out now. But what's happened is the Porsche that has split them from Lin Yu really hasn't been up to speed. And look at how far back the BMW is now. That has absolutely destroyed any chance that Lin Yu has of attacking the leaders. Jeffrey's made a blistering start. Let's hope it's not too blistering and he can get away. Eric Zhang needs to close in. That's about how far away he was prior to going to safety car. 7 minutes left in this race. He's only got a couple of laps, maybe 3 laps to do this. So he's going to have to move in and move in close. He is also mindful this is a championship battle. If the things close up and end the way they are now, both these teams will close in just a little on Nick Yellerly for the championship points lead. But importantly, Jeffrey Lee will stay within reach of the BMW driver. He gains 2 more points. Now, for Eric Zhang and Adam Christodoulou, they're a little bit further back in this championship. In fact, coming into this race, I think I've updated the positions. They were equal 5th in the championship. They were equal 5th with the pole sitters for this race, Ivan Lee and Kevin Chen. So they've dropped a little bit further back down the order. I know the 92 now is back up to position number 5. The 75, as it has done most. Oh, very close under brakes there. It's not really a passing opportunity. But if he can get a good drive out of here, there's every opportunity to do it down at turn 11. Jeffrey's already defending. What that's going to do is that's going to cost him time. Whilst you're driving off the ideal race line, you're not extracting the maximum from the car. He doesn't want to leave the door open. He wants to make sure that any passing opportunity is closed out, and it stops Eric Zhang doing it. The drive off the parabolica, he's going to pull straight to the inside of the circuit as soon as he gets the opportunity to make sure that if Eric does anything, he's even going to have to go down the grass on the inside or try and out-brake Jeffrey Lee on the outside. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do that, but he's tucked right in behind. He pulls out now. Jeffrey moves back across to make it harder for Eric to go in too deep and get the apex. Stops the car in the middle of the corner. That stalls the progress of the 63. Now it's a drag race. He might have stopped it too far. No, he's done this before, has Jeffrey Lee. He knows how to make his car very wide. 5 minutes left in this race. This will be, I reckon they're going to get to the line in time to be able to do 3 more laps. They're going to cross the line at the end of 2 laps' time and still have enough time on the clock to go around 1 more time. So Jeffrey's doing everything he needs to. Further back, Lin Yu has got round the Porsche, and he is into 3rd position, wide on the outside. That was Eric just trying to avoid contact. Oh no, he spun on the exit. He tried to do everything he could to avoid Jeffrey. May have stalled the car. Oh, that is devastating. He's done everything right this weekend. Yesterday's race, the conditions were treacherous. He's on wet grass now. He could be given a penalty for a tough rejoin there too if he's not careful. But he was trying to avoid contact with Jeffrey. He could have run into the back of the 88. That could have actually upset the position of Jeffrey. But Jeffrey now is clear. This could be back-to-back race wins this weekend. The number 7 entry has gone down the inside. What a good job Jiang Tenyi has been doing. And he's not racing that radical. It's a pesky thing, that radical RXC. It's a lap down on the leaders. But it's still mixing things up with the drivers immediately ahead. I think Lo Jiho's probably embedded behind the wheel now. Around the outside, we saw him do this in the early laps yesterday. Jiang Tenyi's been absolutely impressive in this King's Racing Audi. He'd love to see some more of that young man. He's very, very impressive. And he's got through. Now, look at the lead that Jeffrey Lee has. That is Kevin Chen. So unfortunately for Eric Zhang, he's battling the 7-4 position, which means that he's now dropped back to about position number 6. So Jeffrey Lee comfortably clear now. How close has the BMW got? Last time round, there was an advantage of about 5 seconds. There is Jeffrey. There is Lin Yu. No, Jeffrey's got this comfortably now. And that was really by protecting his line coming through turn 2. Eric Zhang tried to go down the inside, couldn't quite do it. He wanted to avoid contact with Jeffrey Lee and spun the car in doing so. Went down the grass, got slippery, didn't have any grip. And unfortunately for Eric Zhang, who's done just about everything right to this point. Here's the replay. Take a look at what happened. Coming through 1, he closed up. Jeffrey's got the car situated about where he wanted to, mid-track. Eric's gone down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Yeah. And just pushed him to the curb. And once he was on the curb, yeah, really, that just spun him sideways. Got on the gas to try and rejoin. And around it went on the damp grass. Very, very frustrating. There's the 75 entry in position number 7. CJ Huang, we heard from him during the break. Wang Tao has taken over. They're doing a great job. And, of course, CJ, a 2-time champion of GTC in China GT. The clock has 2 minutes left. Where is the race leader? Well, coming through turn 7. And I would suggest this is the second last lap in this race. Comfortable lead now to Jeffrey Lee. Back-to-back race wins in 2 weekends. Can they carry this through and do it again for a 3rd weekend in a row? Go for the trifecta next weekend at Fuji. Certainly the Mercedes-AMG fans and those of Craft Bamboo will be hoping the same thing. The 66 entry with Lin Nan now up to position 3. What an outstanding result for them. They started this race from position 9. Min Heng did a brilliant job. He's done a lot of miles in Porsches, but has done really well in that car. There is the 2nd placed entry of Lin Yu. More consistent points for Nick Yellerly and also for Lin Yu. This may in fact move the Chinese driver up to position number 3 in the championship. Came into this race in position 4. So far, 2 wins, 2 runner-up positions. That's not a bad start to your time with the FIS Team AAI operation. Yep, we're going to get to the line. It'll be 1 more lap. Just about to get onto the final lap of this race. We're on the penultimate lap now. There is Lin Yu. There is Lin Nan. Behind him, that will be Ivan Lee. Behind Ivan Lee, the impressive Jiang Tengyi. Behind him, well, it's the man who won yesterday and was in the box seat to potentially go back-to-back before a spin at turn 2 just a lap or so ago. That is Eric Zhang. Oh, Ivan Lee had a terrible run coming out of the final corner. 4.4 litre twin-turbo BMW V8 versus 5.2 litre naturally aspirated Audi V10. It's a drag race down to turn 1. Oh, and he's gone around the outside again. This is great to see for Jiang Tengyi. Oh, can he hold it? A little bit of a love tap. Eric's been there, done that. He's not going to do it again. Oh, wow. Ivan's going to lose position 2. Hit Eric Zhang if he's not careful. He went for a deep dive under brakes. He's on the outside. That'll become the inside as they get to turn 6 if he can weather the battle down to the breaking point. Eric's really charging. Geez, that was a good move too, to pull across in front. Has he gone in too deep? They may have both gone in too deep. Ivan's just got back on the gas. 3 wide now, if you don't mind. I don't think that's going to work. This is going to end in tears, and it has. Around he goes again. The crowd's gone nuts. I can hear them over the back. They're loving this race. And Eric Zhang, I tell you, if ever anybody needs a point for trying, it's that man. He doesn't give up. He gets involved in all sorts of things. Sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. And twice in this race, whilst being in the box seat to potentially go on for a win, he's been in that position where he's wound up being on the receiving end of a bad move. But he's trying. He's doing a great job. This is the final lap of the race. He didn't really have too much to lose. He had a little bit to gain in making up some positions. He was second for much of this race. And there's still a little bit of water spray coming off the back. Oh, another car's gone round. Is that the 10 entry or the 69? That's one of the other cars further back down the order. The 69 of Jackie Wu, potentially. We need to be seeing the leaders because he's coming through the second last corner, about to get to the final corner of this race. There he is. He's done it again for the second week in a row. Jeffrey Lee from J-Fly and EWS Craft Bamboo take the win in China GT. Set up brilliantly by Alessio Piccirillo once more. Second across the line, Lin Yu, and championship points leader Nick Yellowly. Min Heng, what a great job he did in setting this up for Lin Nan across the line in position number 3. And then the pole sitter, Ivan Lee, he muscled hard in that last lap, and he managed to get back round the Audi too in all of that. So that last little bit of contact really did have a bit of an impact in the overall positions. So the Audi drops back to position 5, and the pole sitting Ivan Lee, Kevin Chen, Fish Team AII BMW M6 GT3. He said 4 again. GT3 crosses the line in position number 4. The leading GTC entry is once more CJ Huang and Wan Tao. Good haul of points for them. Of course, CJ, a 2-time champion of that category. It's the YC Racing Team Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo. They take position 6. Position number 7 in the end for the storming Eric Zhang in the number 63 Toro Racing Mercedes AMG shares with Adam Christodoulou, who the pair of them winning the race yesterday, round 5. This is round 6. This is the midpoint of the championship. Nick Yellowly leads this championship as we head into the second half of the year. Car number 9 is in position number 9, and that would be solid points for QAUA and Lawrence Liu. A nice job for them in GTC. That would make them 3rd in GTC. I've missed car number 8, of course, and that is the 918 entry, which started this race from position 8, and that is the points leader in GTC, Zhu Baiwan and Zhang Wangcheng. Baiwan is the one who finished that race, and he is the championship, the runaway championship points leader in GTC. So another good solid haul of points for them, with 2nd in the category, 3rd obviously for the number 9 entry. Car number 68 would cross the line in position number 10. Now, that was one of the radicals. Should be first car next lap down. He had 27 laps for the leader, 26 for the next lap. So their position number 10. So the number 68 entry, we saw them battling hard, and perhaps for good reason. The radical RXC that was getting in the mix of some of those battles further back. So 68 entry, Loji Ho, managing to haul the car that he and Liu Kai started, despite the fact they came down pit lane twice to finish 4th in GTC and 10th overall. Daniel Yu and Jackie Wu in position number 11 in the number 68 entry. I'm just checking where the first of the Porsches would be, and I think that would be them. Yes, in fact it is. It's the 69 entry, not the 68 entry. Position 11 and first in the Porsche One Make Series. Car number 8 is in position number 12, and that would be Wu Pei, 2nd in the Porsche category. As we get the race leader comes to a stop, there'll be some celebration. Of course, we go and look at a different car, but I'm sure there'll be some celebration going on now with Jeffrey and Alessio. And that's a good story too. Young Alessio Piccirillo, discovered by Absolute Racing, who had a lot to do with his early career in this part of the world. There is Thomas Erb. There is team boss Frank Yu, still 2nd in points, I think maybe back to 3rd after this race. And Jeffrey, a new lease on life. He's off to the Spa 24-hour race again with Audi in the not-too-distant future as part of a 4-man Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup team from Audi Sport Asia. So look forward to seeing if Jeffrey can carry his current form through to that. But of course, those 3 drivers, 2 drivers and the team boss, will drive again next weekend off to Fuji in Japan. Lin Yu getting congratulated. He did a very nice job. Good on him, and he has helped Nick Yellowly to an extension in his championship points advantage. So he's been a great addition to that team. 2nd twice victorious alongside Nick Yellowly. And for Fish Team AII and the BMW M6 GT3, that is another great haul of points for them. So this championship really getting very, very interesting. Again, always keep up to date with ChinaGT.net on the website and the social media platforms in both English and certainly in Chinese, and all the action will be replayed there. You can catch the networks around the Asian region and around the world as these races are replayed, and we look forward to you joining us as we go into the next event, which is not too far away, although far enough. It's the new Qingguangdao circuit on the 8th to the 11th of August. But for now, Sophie's down in Parc Fermé with the winners.
好，在这里祝贺在我身旁的88号车组的2位车手李永德和 Alessio 获得了我们的在第2天正赛的 GT3 组别的冠军。Congratulations for both of you。先从 Jeffrey 开始吧。就最后几圈，我们都为你捏把汗啊，尤其是跟我们聊一下，就是尤其是和63号车组的之间的一个比拼。
对，因为我知道因为我的车在这个降档车子有些问题，所以有些弯的时候。像比较低档弯的话，可能会特别慢一点。可是所以我就尽量防守我的路线。那可能是他靠得太近，不小心就碰撞了。所以对，对他来说有点可惜，因为不然我可以跟他一直斗到底，也是一个不错的事情。
So Jeffrey just shared with us the paddle system has some problem for him, but when the turning corner, some problem happens. The collision is inevitable. So also feel pity for Eric's car. Alessio, you claim lots of victories here in Shanghai, but what is the most impressive part about the race today?
Well, I would say, let's say it's 50-50. I did a good first lap and Jeffrey held the pressure really hard. But for my heart, it's difficult because last weekend we won in Suzuka in the same kind of style. And this weekend again, so happy for the team, happy for Jeffrey. We are having a good season in the AMG. We feel sorry for Eric because it would have been nice to have an AMG 1-2, but that's racing, it's a racing incident and we can't do anything from that. Anyway, happy for us, happy for the team and looking forward for the next race.
Thank you so much, Alessio. 那其实 Alessio 跟我们再次总结了一下，就是在今天的比赛当中呢，对于他们来说，整个功劳呢是各半分的。Alessio 呢觉得就是对于李永德来说，尤其是他的这个部分，让 Alessio 特别的提心吊胆，而且非常遗憾藏坎的车没能取得前面的位置，否则就是2台 AMG 在1、2的位置了。不过 all in all, congratulations for both of you. Enjoy the victory for this weekend. Cross back to your guys. 转回到我们的解说间。
Yes, Alessio, it is racing, especially when you win. Not so sure you'd have the same view if you're on the receiving end. But anyway, one of those things. I'm not sure how much blame can go to Jeffrey in that situation. I think there was a couple of things going on in that regard. We'll see. These results are obviously very, very provisional. But just a quick point. Both those drivers had a lot to do with Absolute Racing, and the notification came up this morning. Happy birthday, Ingo Matter. Of course, the man responsible, the very high-profile team boss alongside Fabian Fior of Absolute Racing. They have a base here at Shanghai, and I'm sure Ingo will be somewhere celebrating, and he can take a small part in the ownership of the success of Alessio Picciarello over recent years, certainly as part of that team. So we'll go back down to pit lane very shortly, no doubt, with Sophie, and get an update for next in line. And it was great to see Nick Yellowly and Lin Yu do a good job, but certainly impressive for Lin Nan and Min Heng to take position number 3 in the number 66 entry. And it's very nice to see the YC Racing team that committed cars to every category here of China GT do so well.
在这里头要祝贺的是75号车组的2位车手黄熙展和王涛，获得了我们 GTC 组别第2天正赛的冠军，恭喜2位。先从黄熙展开始，因为从赛季开始到现在，你已经改变了去年一人单打独斗的一个局面，而这一次呢是你跟王涛搭档，那这一场的胜利是不是对于你们的合作是一个更加的巩固信心的基础？
对，其实我们今年跟王涛是第一次搭档参加这个比赛。然后我们也一直在调整我们的默契，培养我们之间对于驾驶风格的这个调整。那王涛也非常努力的，速度一直提升的上来，所以我们这一次能够把这个冠军稳稳的守住，真的，其实最主要的最大的功臣是我的车手王涛，我的 partner 王涛，然后当然就是我们的车队，我们车队老板、车队技师，大家都非常的努力，熬夜帮我们的赛车弄得非常好，谢谢。
非常感谢黄熙展，你说了那么多，让王涛都没话说了，好吧？黄熙展 just mentioned about actually it's very important that the first time to collaborate with Wang Tao and claim the victory here in Shanghai, and also thanks to the team and partner, especially for Wang Tao. 王涛其实对于你来说，最后的这半程尤其的激烈，因为不仅仅是 GT3 组别在前方有非常激烈争夺，我们都看到有3车并排，那肯定 GTC 组别也是有非常就是激烈的较量，能跟我们分享一下 How is your session goes?
OK， 其实还要感谢黄一然老师能够有一个很好的差距带开，然后我其实只是默默的去守护我的这位置就可以了。但是之前确实也 碰到了很多对手，然后进行了相应的一些角逐吧，然后最终还是捡漏，然后过去了啊。然后其实他说培养的默契，我觉得更多是培养感情吧。
Thank you so much. Wang Tao just summarizes that this weekend, thanks to Mr. Huang, to lead the whole race at the very beginning, which have a very good start. So what Wang Tao's job is just to defend the drivers behind him and keep the positions. Thanks, and this is a great collaboration between these two. Congratulations one more time to claim the victory in GTC category. 再次祝贺我们的两位。接下来时间呢，我们将现场的画面转交回解说间。稍后呢，我们将还会有颁奖仪式。Now it's your time. Cross back to your guys upstairs for more information related to the awarding ceremony.
Yeah, well, they're going to give trophies to first, second and third in the various different categories, but here is the ultimate outright result. Number 88, Kraft Bamboo Mercedes takes the victory from the number 90, FIS Team AAI BMW of Nick Yellerly and Lin Yu. The 66 entry, Min Heng and Lin Nan for the YC Racing team. And then it is the second, the pole-sitting BMW of Ivan Lee and Kevin Chen in position 4. And that great job by the Kings Racing Audi to take position number 5. Then the top entry, we just heard from them, the 75 entry, who won GTC again. Of course, that was CJ Huang and Wang Tao. Back to the 63 of Adam Christodoulou and Eric Zhang, who really did entertain us all weekend. And then through down to the 918, the 9 and the 68, which was the Radical RXC taking 4th position in GTC. The top Porsche, Daniel Yu and Jackie Wu, One Make Racing Series. Of course, there were a number of cars in that field, only 18 through to the finish of the second race. This is the midpoint of the season. Catch up to date with ChinaGT.net for the championship positions after this race. They'll no doubt appear in the next 24 hours or so, and we will go through to a string of podiums. That is part of the beauty of this championship, is that we do see a lot of success for a lot of the teams. Make sure, too, you join us. The Qingguangdao circuit in China, not too far from Beijing, on the 8th to the 11th of August. Then we're through to the other new circuit not too far from Beijing, V1 circuit, just a month later on the 6th to the 8th of September. And we close out the season again at Shanghai International Circuit on the 11th to the 13th of October. Before we go, let's take a look back at this race. The rain had cleared. Track conditions still quite slippery. Good crowd in, good presentation off the start. Lots of colour as always down on the grid. It is a big feature of China GT, certainly when it comes to Shanghai International Circuit. Always well represented. Left of screen was Ivan Lee, or Sir Kevin Chen. He tried to close out. Adam Christodoulou put the English driver onto the grass. That opened the door for Alessio Picariello and Nick Yellerly. You heard from Picariello, he needed to get through as quickly as possible. We were looking at the battle further back. Wow, that went a little bit quickly. As we got down to turn 8 and then 9, and Alessio Picariello went through and took the lead. This was further back in the field. Sun Zheng battling with Kevin Chen, who was the pole sitter. He dropped further back, and Min Heng working forward in the 66 entry. Unfortunately for Sun Zheng, he lost the tail of the Kings Racing Audi on the run down to the turn 14, down to the hairpin. And there was a good battle with CJ Huang, the two-time GTC champion of China GT. He left it until the very late stages of the pit window before he hit the pits. Alessio Picariello was in to hand over to Jeffrey Lee. That was the lead that Jeffrey had when he came out of pit lane. And we saw a safety car late in the piece. That allowed Eric Zhang to close up. He had been closing anyway. Lin Yu, this was the passing move that went wrong. Down at turn 2, no doubt that'll get a full investigation. And as he rejoined, unfortunately for Eric Zhang, he got caught up in the pack, and that led to this on the run down to turn 7. And that had a bit of an impact on a couple of drivers' positions. But ultimately, back-to-back wins. Suzuka last weekend, Shanghai this weekend, China GT to Alessio Picariello and Jeffrey Lee.
好，有请我们现场的各位朋友们把目光往前方靠拢。接下来的时间，颁奖环节就要为您呈现了。在颁奖环节当中，我们一同见证我们的每一个瞬间。每个瞬间来自于我们的中国超级跑车锦标赛。好，现场的各位来宾朋友、女士们、先生们，这里是2019中国超级跑车锦标赛上海站。那相信大家已经期待很久了。下面的时间，我要给大家带来的是 GT3 组别的各大奖项。首先给我们带来的是车队冠军，是我们的 First Team AAI。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podium ceremony of GT3 class of China GT Championship 2019 in Shanghai. The winning team goes to First Team AAI.
下面带来组别前三，首先来到的是我们的第3名，66号 YC Racing 车队的闵恒、林楠。
Let's welcome the overall top 3 place skaters of GT3 class. The second runner-up goes to YC Racing 闵恒 and 林楠。
接下来介绍的是2号，是我们的90号 First Team AAI 尼克耶劳里以及我们的林瑜。
The first runner-up goes to First Team AAI Nick Yellowly and Lin Yu.
接下来介绍到的是第1名88号 EWS CAMF 颁布 Racing Alexander Periglo 以及 Jeffrey Lee， 掌声有请。
The champion goes to EWS Craft Racing Alessio Picarillo Jeffrey Lee。
同样最快圈速的获得者也是来自于88号 EWS Craft 颁布 Racing Alexander Periglo 以及 Jeffrey Lee。
The fastest lap goes to the EWS Craft Racing Alessio Picarillo and Jeffrey Lee。
有请他们，接下来有请我们的领导来到现场为他们颁奖。有请米其林亚太赛事总监狄跃池先生。
Let's welcome the award presenter to award the top 3 place skaters, Patrick Deers, Michelin Asia Pacific Motorsports Director.
好，让我们一同见证历史，见证难忘时刻。这一刻是分别是我们的 GT3 组别的车队冠军、组别前3和最快圈速。让我们现场的各位来宾朋友、女士们、先生们，准备好你们的掌声、你们的热情，让我们点燃上海！哇哦！看到了每一个握手都代表了一种认可，那每一次都代表了一种能量。我们也有请我们的领导跟他们一起合影留念。
Let's take a picture together.
Let's take a picture together. 来，我们站在一起来。好，接下来的时间是我们的香槟时刻。
It's champagne time.
现场的各位来宾朋友们、女士们、先生们，让我们再次掌声、欢呼声！车手们在颁奖台上肆意地强扬着我们的青春，象征着我们的号角，象征着我们对于比赛的一个渴望。比赛非常的刺激精彩，也感谢我们车手一往无前、无限努力的奋斗和精彩的表现。那同样，我们的颁奖依旧在继续，也期待大家继续准备好自己的能量，为我们的车手鼓劲加油。香槟是最美好的诠释，奖杯是最好的展示。那下面的时间为大家带来的是 PA 组前3的获得者。
Let's welcome the top 3 place getters of Pro AM class.
第3名7号 Kings 车队的孙正江腾一。
The second runner-up goes to Kings 孙正 and 江腾一。
第2名90号 Face Team AAI 尼克耶勒利以及林宇。
The first runner-up goes to Face Team AAI Nick Yellow and Lin Yu.
第1名同样是88号 EWS Craft Bamboo Racing Edison Presley 以及 Jeff Lee。
The champion goes to EWS Craft Bamboo Racing Alicio Picarillo Jeffrey Lee.
好，有请我们的获奖者依次来到现场。那同样呢，我们有请颁奖嘉宾，有请北京珠穆朗玛移动通讯有限公司8848钛金手机总裁周佳先生，掌声有请。有请我们的领导为冠亚季军分别带来奖项。我们的前3名，这一组呢是我们的 PA 的前3。那每个奖杯呢，同样是一种汗水的印证。好，领导与他们一一的握手，代表了一种肯定和对他们的一种认可。我们站到一起来好吗？一起合影留念。
Let's take a photo together.
来看着我们的镜头。那现场的来宾朋友、女士们、先生们，再次掌声，尖叫声！好，接下来就是属于我们车手们的香槟时刻了。哇！哇！总有惊喜为大家呈现，总有意想不到的每一个瞬间。那也希望我们每一个瞬间呢，都是非常的惊喜和难忘的。期待我们的现场，引爆我们的每一刻。这里每一个都是喜悦和激情以及激动的赛事。哇，我们的车手也受到了我们现场的一个气氛的感染，非常的精彩。那稍后环节，我们绅士组的前2呢也会为大家带来，也请正在现场的朋友们也千万不要错过，把目光继续锁定。接下来，绅士组的前2为大家带来。
Let's welcome the top 2 place getters of AA class.
首先有请第2名，来自于92号车队 Face Team AI 李月勋以及陈君华。
The first runner-up goes to Face Team AAI 李月勋 and 陈君华。
第1名车号66 YC Racing 车队，我们的米恒林南。
The champion goes to YC Racing 美恒 and 林南。
让我们掌声他们，同时有请懂车帝形象大使王凯。
Let's welcome our presenters to award the top 2 place getters Nico, Image Ambassador of D-Car.
有请懂车帝形象大使王凯为他们进行颁奖。那么此刻呢，有请我们的王凯为获奖者一一进行颁奖，感谢他们在比赛当中为我们带来的每一个精彩瞬间，难忘瞬间属于你们，精彩时刻属于每一位为比赛辛勤付出的每一个车手，每一个工作人员。哇！来，我们站在一起，来准备合影留念。
Let's take a picture together.
接下来的时间就是我们的香槟时刻，香槟time。好，我们看到我们的车手这一次是要将香槟带到什么地方呢？哇！好，那接下来的时间呢，我们要继续给大家带来前锋。稍后要为各位带来的是我们的 GTC 组的各大的奖项，也请大家千万不要错过，把目光锁定这里。那每一次都非常的经典，每一次都是一种质的突破。GTC 组到底是有谁获得了各种奖项呢？也让我们一起来期待一下。好，下面的时间呢，我们来揭晓的是 GTC 车队的车队冠军是 YC Racing。
Let's welcome the winning team goes to YC Racing.
好，下面的时间呢，我们有请的是组别前3的获得者，第3名来自于9号经纬雨果车队崔越以及 Lawrence Liu。
The second runner-up goes to 经纬雨果 team 崔越 and Lawrence Liu。
同样的，我们有请的是第2名918号 YC Racing 车队郑婉成、周碧煌。
The first runner-up goes to YC Racing 郑婉成 and 周碧煌。
第1名75号 YC Racing 黄熙展、王涛。
The champion goes to YC Racing 黄熙展 and 王涛。
好，我们接下来有请我们的颁奖领导离步舞台，有请巨社上海商贸有限公司总经理罗彦辉。
Let's welcome our presenter to award the top 3 place getters, Jenny Luo, 巨社上海 Trading Company Limited。
同时呢，有请我们的领导为获奖者一一进行颁奖，为他们颁发属于他们的殊荣。每一个奖项呢，印证了我们不断的努力，我们在赛道上为大家带来的精彩展示。这一刻，让我们有请我们的罗总为他们带来他们的奖项。来，接下来我们一起合影留念，好吗？下面的时间当中，让我们一起进入香槟时刻，香槟time！哇！前方的朋友们，你们的尖叫声在哪里？接下来我们马上又要给大家带来精彩的环节了，也请各位呢千万不要错过，把目光继续锁定前方。在这里，我们马上要给大家带来到的是我们 GTC 组的 PA 的前3，哇，是不是跟我一样内心期待呢？让我们有请他们接下来带来的是 GTC 组车队 PA 的前3。
Let's welcome the top 3 place getters of Pro AM class。
第3位25号 Extreme Motorsports Dominic and 宋波。
The second runner-up goes to Extreme Motorsports Dominic and 宋波。
以及第2名是666号69 Racing Team 杨科、张真东。
The first runner-up goes to 69 Racing Team 杨科 and 张真东。
第1名获得者9号的经纬雨果车队崔越、Lawrence Liu。
The champion goes to 经纬雨果 Team 崔越 and Lawrence Liu。
同样的，我们揭晓的是颁奖嘉宾。接下来有请颁奖嘉宾，瑞士高级腕表品牌 Calvadance 创始人、董事市场部总监 Mr. Carlos Zuriti。
Let's welcome our presenter to award the top 3 place getters, Mr. Carlos Zurich, the co-founder, director, and CMO of Calvadance。
让我们有请我们的领导为获奖者一一颁发他们的奖项。这个奖杯啊，拿在手中也代表一种印证。我们也说一下，我们的奖杯是碳纤维制作的，代表了一种新的科技、新的力量、新的元素、新的呈现，全新的未来就从 China GT 开始。China GT 每一年都有新的增长，也希望我们现场的朋友们跟随我们一起开心度过每一个瞬间，忘掉一切不开心的事情，共同展望美好的未来。来，一起拍照。
Let's take a photo together。
好，那接下来的时间，我相信就是香槟 time 了，哇 ！It's 香槟 time！ 哇，现场的朋友，我发现了我们的实验老师们怎么都跑掉了呢 ？3, 2, 1， 哇！哇，我们能感受到这个香槟的热度哈，以及它的激情。挥洒到每个人的面孔之中，我们仿佛与车手一样，都在赛道上狂奔啊！哇！好，再次恭喜！刚才是我们 PA 组的前3，稍后的环节当中，我们的 GT4组别的绅士组的前3也会被大家一一的揭晓。也请我们现场的来宾朋友们、女士们、先生们，跟随我们的脚步，跟随我的目光，跟随我们的视野，一同去探索和发现，那感受他们开心的一面。选手们就为这一刻的等待。好，下面带来绅士组的前3。
Let's welcome the top 3 place getters of AA class.
第3位68号，来自于 Extreme Motorsports 刘凯、鲁思豪。
The second runner-up goes to Extreme Motorsports Liu Kai and Lu Zihao.
第2名来自918号 GT3 Racing 郑满成以及周碧煌。
The first runner-up goes to YC Racing Zheng Wancheng and Zhou Bihuang.
第1名75号 YC Racing 黄熙展王涛。那接下来的时间，我们有请颁奖嘉宾，来自于一嗨租车首席技术官谢春先生，掌声有请。
Let's welcome Mr. Xie Chun, Chef Technical of E-Hi Car Service.
好，我们站在一起来，共同合影留念，记录下这个经典难忘的瞬间。每个瞬间都是属于我们车手不断努力付出的结果。好，恭喜我们 GT4 组的各位获得奖项的朋友，还有没有奖项的朋友，我们也是感谢我们车手的努力。接下来马上要给大家带来单一品牌组的揭晓了，单一品牌现在就要为大家介绍。好，接下来介绍的是单一品牌组车队冠军69 Racing Team。The
winning team goes to 69 Racing Team.
同时呢，我们揭晓的组别前3，第3个是36号 RSR GT Racing 简瑞佑以及孙子睿。
The second runner-up goes to RSR GT Racing 简瑞佑 and 孙子睿。
第2名8号 YCRT 吴佩。
The first runner-up goes to YCRT 吴佩。
第1名69号69 Racing Team 我们的丹尼尔路以及杰克吴。
The champion goes to 69 Racing Team Daniel Lu and Jackie Wu.
同样呢，我们来给大家带来的揭晓这一刻的环节，那让我们一同来期待他们。我们也希望大家呢，千万不要忘记这一刻给我们呈现的精彩环节，每一个环节都给我们带来。接下来有请保时捷亚太赛车运动部门负责人季伯安先生。
Let's welcome our presenter to award the top 3 place getters, Alexander Gibbard, head of Porsche Motorsport Asia Pacific.
好，有请季伯安先生来到我们的现场，为获奖者一一颁奖。来，我们站到一起来合张影。Let's take a photo together.